Welcome back to the Sweet Spot of Life podcast, everyone. So this week's episode is a little bit special because it's Mother's Day coming up tomorrow, and I thought it was the perfect excuse to finally get my mum on the podcast. Now, I'm slightly nervous about this episode because this woman knows probably every embarrassing story about me imaginable. And I also feel like mums sometimes have absolutely no filter when a microphone's involved. So Mum, welcome to the podcast. I feel like everyone says their mum's funny, but generally some of the funniest conversations in our family happen completely by accident. So today is basically just family group chat energy, exposing each other a little bit, parenting when I was growing up, the things only mums say, and probably stories I'll regret bringing up. So Mum, I thought we'd start easy. Mum, if you had to describe me as a child in 3 words, what would they be?
Beautiful.
Oh, geez, thanks, Mum.
Very social.
Sounds like Ruby.
Funny.
Thanks. I also feel like all mums are secretly given the same script when they become parents because every household somehow has the exact same sayings. Like there are sentences that only mums can say properly. So Mum, what do you think your most used mum phrase was growing up?
Wait till your dad gets home.
Yeah, heard that before. And what's something that you heard yourself say as a parent and realised you sounded exactly like Nana?
It'd probably be an episode when I was younger and my mother asked me to hang out the washing, and I said to my mother that I will do it when I'm married. And then years later when you come along, you said exactly the same thing to me when I asked you to hang out the washing, and my mother was there and she thought it the most funniest thing on earth.
Yes, well, we all think we're, can tell our parents what to do. What's the most ridiculous thing that mums say that somehow makes sense?
When you have children, you'll understand why I'm so strict on you, because I care about you.
And my answer for this next question was one you've already said. What's a phrase you used to say to me and my sister constantly? I thought it would be, wait until your dad gets home.
Well, it is.
That was one of them.
That was one of them. That
was the one I had. What about the one sentence that instantly gives mum energy? When you know you're a mum. I say, oh, mum's tired. That's what I think.
Well, that's why.
That's it, because you're so tired as a mum.
Eat your vegetables.
Oh, yeah. Trying to be healthy. And this is a good one. What's the most dramatic thing you've ever said to us? I can think of one where it's been a stressful situation. And you're like, oh, fuck it. That's probably been the most dramatic. Fuck it. Wait till your dad gets home. All right, so let's play a fun mini game. All right, so we're going to do finish the sentence. So you got to finish this question. So if I say, as long as you live under my roof.
You do what I say.
That's very serious. Money doesn't grow on
trees.
Exactly, that's an oldie. Ask ya.
Ask your dad.
Be ask your nana. Yeah, because I said.
So?
Exactly. If all your friends jumped off a bridge.
Would you?
Exactly. Honestly, now parenting feels so different to when we were growing up. Sometimes I see parenting videos online and there's no way our childhood would survive modern parenting standards. And it's not any shade from when we were growing up, it's just how it was. Now there's all these, things out there now. And I guess what's something parents did, back then when we were growing up, even when you were growing up, that wouldn't fly now.
I'd probably say smacking in public would be one. Like if you were at the checkout and chucked a wobbly because you wanted something at the checkout and you were naughty, I'd give you a smack on the backside.
Your best smacks were on the arm. The real hard one against the arm. God, they stung. You just had the right... Yep.
The other thing too, with all the sunscreen and the sun smart and the sun hats, you growing up, it was like, how much tan can you get with no sunscreen, no hat?
It wasn't a thing.
It just wasn't a thing.
Do you think parenting now is easier or harder?
I think it's harder now. It's definitely harder because I think it's become very woke now, and I think there's a lot more parents are made more accountable for how they're raising their children more so than when I was raising you.
There's also the whole social media aspect as well.
Yep.
That's in there now.
Which is influencing how people perceive it. Yep.
And a lot of competitiveness as well. There seems to be more competitiveness now, I think. You know, almost like parent against parent, child against child now, rather than, you know, because that wasn't there to compete against. You just turned up. Even, I guess even sort of mobile phones, they were sort of even coming in, you know, when I was that little bit older. So when you wanted to talk to someone, it was the home phone. It wasn't, you know, on a mobile, you weren't sending pictures to anyone. So all of that's changed. And also, too, where you can take pictures. Like, you can't take, you know, if you had a camera, like even an old camera, you couldn't just now go to the park and take pictures. You'd be getting other kids' pictures, and now
because the world now appears to be a more dangerous place too.
Yeah.
Than what it was when you were a kid growing up.
And you sort of got to wonder with that too, whether that was always there, but it was just never known about as much. Because you sort of hear about things people have gone through back in that time, but it wasn't as obvious now, whether it's because, you know, it's more accessible now for people to do those sorts of things.
Most kids don't walk home from school anymore. No. They're always picked up. I always walked home from school. Yeah. You're out playing with your friends on the street till dark, as long as you're home at dark.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Changed. Even in the first house we were in, there it was sort of, you'd be out and you're playing with the friends.
The friends in the street.
So, and you'd be like...
As long as you were home before dark. Yeah.
Is it all right if I go to so-and-so's house? Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. You know, and that was sort of fun. But now it's sort of come home and, you know, like I know my kids are sort of like, oh, can I get on the tablet? Or can I call so-and-so? Rather than just, you know, being outside playing. And I guess, is there a parenting trend now? You might see it with me and the kids. What if there's something that's that you don't understand that kids do now, like a parenting trend, or how?
Well, the whole social media and the iPads and the phones and everything has changed all of that. Yeah, it's because you didn't have that growing up. I never had it growing up. You've had it more into when you're teenager years. The
starting to come in.
So that's definitely. I still don't understand the attraction to spending, you know, hours on it, because for me and for you growing up, it was all about play acting and playing with your toys and going outside to play. And I think it's not like that. And I don't understand why it's still not like that. Yeah.
It all just comes in, it's easy. Yes. Because I think also too, parents get busy. Like I know for us, it's kind of like, okay, have your tablet time, then I've got to do that sort of stuff. So it's sort of like, it's used to occupy. Yeah.
Well, life's become a lot faster now. I think life's a lot more fast. It's moving at a faster pace. And I think there's higher expectations on mothers now than there was in my day. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. That's definitely added.
Where I guess... Were we difficult kids?
No. You were always my good kid until you got into your teens. And your sister was always the naughty kid, and then she switched when she got into her teens and become the goody two-shoes.
So you had it both ways.
You both switched.
Tag teamed. And was there... did you ever just completely wing parenting? Like just fly by the seat of your pants?
Yes and no, because I was fairly fortunate that when we had you, I was with my own mother. I was living in her house, so I had my mother right there in the bedroom next door to lean on and support, which was something that I was forever grateful for, and that was really helpful. It was probably not until your kids got into the teenage years where I just had to wing it, because that's a whole different ballgame.
And no one gives you a manual. You just have to, and each child's different. Like I know that even with my two, one's completely different from the other, completely. And you have, you know, first one nice and calm, you know, just a boy chilled. Being a boy and chilled when he wants to be mum's boy, and then a girl who's just a completely different kettle of fish. So that you have to change what you did for one for the
same
other.
As you and your sister.
Absolutely. What's something today's generation overthinks? Because it's something that they're thinking about now that you think that they don't need to worry about so much.
Well, I think one of the things coming up is everyone seems to worry about not having a university degree, and it's the be-all, the end-all. When I was growing up, it wasn't like that. It was whatever you just chose to do and you did, and I think people overthink that a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not necessary.
No.
You can still be successful without that.
Absolutely. I agree.
And I do think people worry about what's online about them and what's being said about them online, and they're overthinking all of that. And that's where social media, I guess.
And also what other people are doing, and then comparing themselves to that.
And they overthink all of that. So I think that this generation is overthinking all of that.
What punishment, when you were growing up, did you fear the most?
Oh, getting a belting if I was naughty.
Was it the jug cord?
Not
or wooden spoon?
Could have been anything.
Getting a whack.
Yeah. Getting a belting for something you'd done that was naughty.
And do you have a favourite child?
No.
It's obviously me, right?
I love both of you secretly.
Oh, nice answer. And I think, sort of that family time, I guess sort of when we were growing up, we sort of did sit down at the table.
Yes.
Like there were times obviously when you and Dad were working, because you guys have worked ever since I can remember. Ever since I've been born, really. And there was times, obviously, when you were working later into the night, Dad had cooked dinner and, vice versa. But sitting down at the table and actually having
together
dinner.
As a foursome.
It's, how important do you think that is? I think it's pretty important.
I think
it's
very important.
Yeah.
Very important to be all sitting together that one point in the day where you're all sitting down and you're talking about your day and you're all having your night meal together.
It's really important.
Very, very much so. Yeah.
And is there any, what about discipline? Do you think this sort of discipline now has sort of lapsed? There should be more discipline for sort of kids now?
I think so. I think kids are getting away with a lot more. But then having said that, I've seen you give your pair discipline where, whether it just sit in a corner for a certain time and take the time out, or just take away, an iPad or whatever, as it has worked
as well.
Fine.
Yeah.
And brought it in line. So I guess there's some pluses there.
Yeah. And do you think you were an overprotective parent?
Yes. Very much on you in particular.
Yeah. Being the first.
Being the first. And trying to navigate your way through a teenager.
It's the first time for everything.
Trying to protect the teenager.
Yeah. And I guess that's one of the, I sort of pushed back, as you said before, in my teenage years.
Definitely.
Of, having fun at school and, going across the road for a smoke. And
yes.
Study break.
Yeah.
And, having more fun with my friends. I was like, what? Like
High school was just all about your social life, not about your studies.
Yeah. I had a great time. And have you got any back in my day stories? Back in my day, this would never happen. Or back in my day, we did this.
I think back in my day when we were
you even
growing
said
up,
it.
I think when we were growing up, I thought life was slower and more relaxing, and there wasn't so much emphasis put on the things that are important today. I think it was easier.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, there was a lot of things that probably did need to be fixed up, but it just felt like it was a simpler, easier time.
And you sort of moved around a lot, obviously, with Papa being in the Navy, so you sort of had to adapt and, kind of find new friends. And
state to state, always at a new school, always trying to make new friends.
Yeah.
It did.
And do you think that helped? Do you think that was good for you, socially and for your development, or would you have preferred to sort of stay in one place?
No, I didn't like that. I actually didn't like that. And that's why when you girls started your schooling, it was really important to me that you went to the same school, so you had that security of your friendship circle in primary and high school. And I made sure of that for that reason, because I found that that was quite stressful. That could be quite stressful. New school, new friends.
Yeah, starting again. How long would you stay in those places before you move?
Did some time. Probably 3 or 4 years.
Okay. So you'd just really sort of get settled and start a new life before you'd have to be off to the next naval base. And I guess, not that it's childhood trauma, but speaking of childhood trauma, I think every family has stories that get brought up at every single gathering, no matter how many years pass. And unfortunately for me, Mum probably remembers all of them. And I think what's probably the funniest thing, I guess, I did as a child.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
There's a few.
I'm scared.
There was a few. There was that story when your grandfather out there was with his golf club, and I remember sitting there and he went through the window at the front.
Oh, yeah.
And it took a bounce, the golf ball, one bounce, and then went into a cup in the bar.
Mm.
So because you loved your popper, and it was about 2 weeks later, you got one of your dad's golf clubs and went out there giving it a whack, and you smashed the headlight to the car.
The Gemini? No, it wasn't the Gemini. What was it? The Sunbird?
And smashed the headlight in your dad's car.
I set a record for human speed that day. I don't think I've run so fast, and I still could never run that fast in my whole life. I was a Usain Bolting. That I remember that. I remember running so much. Yeah. Dad was chasing me. I was in trouble for doing that.
Or the other time I remember you were in having a shower, and I left you for a minute. I think you might have been about 2.5, and I left you for a minute in the shower to get something, and I come back and you disappeared from the shower. You got out the back door and you jumped on a big beanbag thing in the pool, and you were floating around the pool.
Why not? That's fun. What about an embarrassing childhood moment?
That would have to be a christening that I went to, myself and a very dear friend of mine, and you were sitting between us, and all was quiet in the church, and the minister was talking about the herbs and spices of life for the little kid that was getting christened, and you at the top of your voice went, herbs and spices. And I just completely lost it and burst out laughing, as did my girlfriend. And then you turned around to my girlfriend and said, Mummy's got lippy on her teeth. At that point, I had to take you out of the church because everybody around us was laughing at that point as well. So that was a very funny moment.
And was there ever a moment that you thought, oh, this child's testing me, like, she's doing my hair, like, she's putting me to my absolute limit?
Definitely when you got your first boyfriend. That was definitely interesting.
Here's a doozy.
That was putting me at my limit.
And what'd you call him?
Can I say it on this?
You can say it, but just don't say his name.
Fuck knuckle.
Right. My family absolutely loved him, as you can tell.
Well, so much so that when we went to Disneyland, we got him a whole pile of dopey stuff. Or your dad did. I know he really loved it, but he didn't get the joke.
Yeah, no. And was there a phase that I went through that you hated? Obviously, my teenage years.
Probably that the most, when you're with him.
That wasn't teenage years, that was after I'd left school. Well, at the end of grade 12.
Not really. Probably just when you start to come into your teenage years and you completely you changed. You went from being this good little girl to pushing all the boundaries all around you.
I have to test them.
Pushing all the boundaries all around you, particularly me.
Now, what's something that I did that you think I would completely deny doing now? I have an example of this.
Sneaking out of a night?
No, I won't deny that. I did that once, just to go down the road to have a smoke out of my bedroom window.
Yes.
Stole one of the old Alpine filters, whatever it was.
Yes, one of my smokes.
Yeah, one of Mum's smokes. You don't smoke anymore.
No.
But yeah, and I put it in my purse. It was in my purse for ages. It was all squashed up because it had been in the purse. And yeah, I just went down the laneway, and like 3 doors down, and there was like a laneway. But I don't deny that. I was actually saying, because you always used to say at school, I always used to lose my stuff.
Yes, you did.
Always lose my stuff. Everything would come back half wrecked, or I'd lost it. But I don't remember that. I don't remember losing all my stuff. I don't think I was always losing my stuff. That's probably the thing I'd deny, because I don't think I did. But I don't know, maybe I just don't remember.
Yeah, you did lose a bit of stuff.
Right, here's another one. What about getting caught lying badly?
Let me think. What did you lie about? You probably, as you've got older, I've realised you were lying about a lot of things.
Well, you can't tell your mum when you're a teenager, when you're growing up, because your parents freak out.
Probably when you went to Namir with your school.
Oh, that one. Yeah. The good old private school Noumea trip, where our teacher ended up taking us out to a nightclub.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't find out about that until many years later.
That was an interesting trip. And what about family holidays? I guess we sort of took the odd sort of holiday here and there, but probably by today's standards, now people are going overseas and doing a lot of stuff. We didn't sort of do a lot of holidays because you guys worked a fair bit. We'd sort of go, you know, maybe down the coast.
We'd go down the coast and all that. We always had lots of fun, and we always had a lot of fun. We'd go on our family holidays, and it was always, most of our holidays was around the sun, the beach.
Even though we live in Queensland. We still noted the beach.
And we even when we went down to Tasmania for your sister's birthday and had that weekend away, that was a really fun weekend too. So we still enjoy our company, each other's company.
Yeah. So as an adult, probably now looking back, you know what probably annoys me the most is realising mum's actually right about most things. Like eventually, and I hate to admit that publicly, but that is the case
because they love you unconditionally.
Yeah, and they've like lived obviously longer than you and have more experience than you. But you, of course, you think you know better. Of course, I knew better at 18 when I was with a boyfriend that's 8 years older than me, and you know, get stuffed, whatever, mum.
And that reminds me of the lying thing. When you went on schoolies, I didn't realise he was with you.
Yeah, I think that was a last minute thing actually, looking back. Oh, schoolies, wow. So what's something, well, this is probably going to answer our last question, something you warned me about that turned out to be true?
It'd have to be the first boyfriend.
Yeah.
It'd have to be, I'd have to say that.
And that'd probably be the most satisfying I told you moment? Or was that another one?
Well, I don't think I ever did that. I told you so, but that would probably be
internally. You probably did
that one. Yeah, the boyfriend, the first boyfriend. Yeah,
be like I told you, you know, not. Yeah, it hurts having kids
because after that, you just start living your life properly.
And is there any advice that Nana gave to you when you were growing up and in your teenage years that you now understand?
I think she's always been a person to put family first, and probably not necessarily the advice, but more leading by example, because she's sort of the matriarch of our family now. And I guess her nurturing helicopter view of the family, I think.
And what do you think there's something that kids don't appreciate until they're older?
I think they underestimate the love of the grandparent or the mother.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely
100%.
I think it's definitely underestimated, that unconditional love, and you don't realise it until you're a lot older.
And then, you know, on the other end of that, I think, you know, something that about adulthood that no one warned you about, like when you do get
responsibility, you don't realise the responsibility you'll have.
And
when you get older, you're responsible, whether it be your job or for your children, to your partner, to your friend. You're just responsible for your own behaviour, not you can't make an excuse. You have to show up. You have to show up and be responsible.
Yeah. Well, I think too, like, you sort of get
people don't tell you that.
No. And you get to a certain age too, it's all fun. You're all young, you're in your 20s and your 30s, and then you sort of hit your 40s to sort of mid-40s. Then you're like, holy shit, I'm not far off being like 50. And as a kid, 50 is fucking old.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like going, there's all these people now that are coming up and they're starting to live that. It's like they're fresh.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, they're people in their 20s and even their 30s and they're getting married and having kids. Like, they're starting that now. And so when you get past that, it's kind of like, there's nothing I'm really changing. I can't change anything anymore. It's like, this is what my life is, and you have to deal with that. And no one sort of tells you that. No. It's almost like you just keep going for the next thing. You just get older and you just get older and you just get older.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, so before we kind of finish up, I thought we'd kind of have a bit of a quick fire round. So we can't think about it, and it's got to be our first answer only. So this is between you and me. So who's more dramatic?
You.
I was going to say you.
I think you're more like me.
Yeah, and sister's more like dad.
Your sister's more like your dad.
Who apologises first?
Me.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, you're my mum, you should apologise. I'm the child.
Because you crack it. You're not talking to me for days.
I'm the only child.
Yeah.
Who spends more money? You.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, I agree.
The La Prairie don't by itself.
I don't use La Prairie anymore.
Oh, what do you use now?
They're not La Prairie. I don't use it anymore.
Who takes longer to reply to messages?
Me.
Yeah, probably. Is that because one finger typing?
2 fingers.
Oh, sorry, 2 fingers. It depends on my situation whether I would. Who's more stubborn? Probably me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would survive reality TV longer?
Oh, I think we'd be neck and neck.
You reckon? I'd be like, I'm out. If I was a celebrity, I'd be like, celebrity, get me out of here. I reckon I could do it.
we'd be the same. I think we'd react the same. Yeah.
Who starts arguments accidentally? You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
It starts and you're like, I didn't do
What
that.
am I upset for?
Jesus, I was only saying. I didn't mean it that. Well, I didn't mean it. Who gives better advice? Probably you. But it's different.
It's different advice.
It's different.
Mum's advice, like my
You're
advice
sort of-
to you is different to your advice to me.
Yeah.
It's just different.
So I'm just like, just chill out. And you're like, well, you should do this or you should do that. Here we go. Here's a good one. Who's more emotional? That's a tough one.
I think we're the same.
Yeah. Now, like bloody
We're
twins.
definitely the same.
Who's funnier? You're pretty funny with the things you do.
Yeah. So are you. I reckon we're the
If
same.
it includes farts,
Yep.
you're all over it.
Yeah.
You know, the louder
Well, it
and
is
wetter, the better.
It is the funniest noise. How can you not laugh at a fart?
All right. So we've got some last questions before we finish. What's your favourite thing about being a mum?
Is spending time with my daughters
And your grandkids?
and my grandkids. My perfect grandkids.
So cute. I'm a bit biased, but what's something motherhood has taught you?
Patience. Sacrificing your own needs for your children. But it also makes you strong. It gives you a strength that if you didn't have children, you wouldn't know you had.
You have to pull it from somewhere that you
You've
didn't
got to
even
pull
know
it from somewhere
existed.
they're relying on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there something you hope your kids will always remember?
I think I would like to think that my kids, my daughters, would always like to remember the fun times and the good times and how much I love them.
What's one thing mums probably don't hear enough?
Probably thank you. Yeah. I don't think mums hear that enough. Because I think because mum's just doing all the do's all the time,
Yeah.
that people don't. It's just a given. Mum's going to do that, and no
Yeah.
one's thanking her for it.
No.
You don't get thanked for it. Not really. I mean, you do with your cuddles and
Yeah.
your little smiles and stuff.
But it's nice to actually, someone to actually say, thank you, I appreciate
Yeah, thanks,
you.
Mum.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah.
Mum.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always love, even if I give the kids a water bottle and they're like, thanks, Mum.
Yeah.
Like, "Aw." This makes you feel nice. It does. All right. Well, I guess that's the end of the podcast. So thanks, Mum, for coming on
That's
to the
okay.
podcast. I feel like this episode was basically just maybe exposing each other for half an hour or so. But honestly, it's been one of the favourite and fun conversations we've had. And hopefully everyone listening feels like we were just sitting at the table, us having a chat. To everyone celebrating Mother's Day this weekend, happy Mother's Day to all the mums, grandmothers, stepmums, mother figures, and everyone out there doing their best. So thank you so much for listening. Mum, thank you. Love you. And don't forget to follow, share this episode and send it to your mum. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.